No. That's just not a good shot. Go inside, we get a paint touch and we kick it. That's a great play. Okay, we can live with that. Right? But they hit a three and we come down and jack one with no paint touch on a dribble three and miss it. Like, we got to get a better one right there. Okay? We got to be able to play fast, keep our head, right, and get good shot quality. Right? Everything with a purpose. Let's go.
So Southern Conference is one of what, maybe two leagues that still have that intra rule where they can't transfer unless they're a grad. I mean, I know it's a big win for you guys to be able to get him. Will that rule change? I mean, should it?
I hope it needs to. I mean, it's just. I think we're losing talent in the league.
Yes.
You know, I think it's just what it is. Like it's
That's
like.
right.
There's so much of this that, like, you can decide if you like it or not. That's irrelevant. Nobody cares if I like it or not. It's just what it is. And so, like, it's just what it is. Like, the deal with Marcus, I mean, you're getting in the portal. You got 2,000 kids in the portal. You got to watch these guys. They're playing in different leagues. Well, when they told me Marcus Kell's in the portal, well, I've watched him for 4 years. You know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah, at least on the court.
And I think it would be beneficial for the players. Like they're going to get more opportunities with people that are familiar with them.
That's right.
And, of course, do we want to see guys getting recruited in warm-up lines and layup lines after games? No. Like, you got to keep ethics. But what it does is sometimes there's just a role shift, or sometimes there's just a system shift, or sometimes there's a, whatever, maybe there's a resource situation where, guys might want to have their role bumped up and they can't hear. And, it's just like, Ed came to me at the end of the year. He said, Coach, I love it here. You've been great to me. Furman's awesome. I'm going to get my degree, but you know what? I want to be a top 3 guy. Yeah. And so, you know what? We went and found him a place where he can be a top 3 guy. He came to me and he said, Coach, I got Citadel and I got another school that wasn't in the league. I got another school that wasn't in the league. What do I do? Yeah. I said, you go play for Ed Conroy.
Yes, no doubt.
You go to Charleston, South Carolina, and you play for an unbelievable coach down there.
Yeah.
And you're going to be at a great institution. And I'm not happy I got to play against him twice. But you know what? Like, we got 11 really good schools in the league. We got some great systems. We got some great coaches. Maybe somebody that ends up going to another place isn't always a bad thing if they've already made the decision that they're going to leave.
That's right.
I think that's the important piece of it.
All right. What about just even from a perspective of your family's growing? I mean, you guys going to get a starting 5?
No, we're good. We got 2 pair.
Yeah.
We got married at an early age.
Yeah.
And we always wanted 4. And we had 2 early. Yeah. And then we had some, whether you want to call it adversity or just some fake moments where, it's had a couple miscarriages and had a time period where unfortunately we couldn't get pregnant. Yeah. And then all of a sudden Jax came around and we call him our faith check. Just it was every doctor's appointment. It was just a check of our faith. Just like, hey, ultimately God's in control of this. And he's our little joy boy. It's a 9-year gap from our second to our third. And we always wanted 4. It didn't happen as fast as we wanted to. But it's one of those lessons, like, be faithful for us in front of you. And ultimately there's some things that are out of your control, but God ended up giving us 4 beautiful kids. And so sometimes I have to learn this. Patience is not my strength. But
parenting will give you, it'll test your patience.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's one of the great things about being here is this place values family. My family gets to travel. They get to be at games. Yeah. If Mac wasn't in workouts right now, he'd be in practice right now. And Jackson Francie come here and run around me forward.
I love it.
They've been able to be involved in this, and that's what makes it fun.
Yeah. Well, I saw Mac the other day, and I was like, "Who's this guy? This man growing up."
They got back from church camp last night, so we got the 2 little ones down. We call them, like, when you do skill, you have littles and bigs.
Yeah.
That's how we refer to it. Like, we got the littles and bigs, and so our 2 little, we got the littles down, and we took the bigs to dinner, and we were actually went to dinner. We got some ice cream. We're sitting in the ice cream shop, and Mac looks at me. He's like, "I'm taller than you now." And I was like, "No, you're not." And Jessica looked at me. She's like, "Bob, calm down. He is." And so we're in the middle of Jenny's ice cream, back to back. We got the picture. Oh yeah. And he's got me. He
gotcha.
But I tell you what, I'm proud of him. I'm proud of all our kids. Audrey has grown up, and Mac has grown a ton, and it's neat to see him just continue to. From being on the court at Villanova,
yes,
and
Loyola,
and all, running around, and now they're,
then just 3 years
now
ago, Mac running around and
Oh,
Audrey
yeah.
running around while we were filming. I mean, it's just crazy to see the transformation, from that standpoint. When is Mac going to get a whistle? When is he going to be a coach for you?
He says that's what he's going to do.
Oh, okay.
He already thinks he knows what he wants to do. So
will you talk him out of it?
Nah, I don't. People say, like, look, I live a great life. Yeah. I mean, I'm in the gym right now. I'm about to coach basketball. I'm about to figure out a way to to get people to figure out how to put an orange ball in an orange hoop. Like, this ain't all bad.
That's right. Okay? No, it's not. All right, another edition of Two-Man Weave right here on SoCon Fast Break. Cole Bowser, sophomore here with the Furman Paladins. You ready for the Two-Man Weave?
So let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. I'll let you go in front right here. All right, so the decision for you to come to Furman, what was that like coming out of DeMatha?
Definitely one of the easier decisions, especially having my brother here.
Well, of course.
Yeah, and then Coach Richey, his development plan and the way that he brought me in, brought me felt like family. Also, with my brother being here, was a family, so that was ultimately a big part of my decision.
Yeah, and you got a lot of playing minutes last year. Were you ready to get out on the court, or what was that moment where you're like, oh, okay, this is Southern Conference basketball, this is Division I basketball?
Yeah, I'd definitely say since I was redshirting for the first half of the season, I was prepared, working out two times a day, lifting 2 times a day with Coach Wells. So I was definitely prepared, and then my first game, Chattanooga,
That's
10
right,
rebounds.
here you go.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the league, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was like, well, wait a second, we wanted you to continue to stay redshirted.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yes.
Sir.
All right, so then now the process of, just developing over the summer, what are the areas that you're focused on in terms of getting ready for this 2026 season?
I'm definitely just trying to focus more on my leadership. We got a lot of new guys, a lot of young guys, so trying to take that leadership role and showing these guys what it takes to win a championship, showing them the championship mindset.
And then just even from the perspective of reflecting back to last year, freshman year, you win a SoCon championship as the 6th seed. I mean, do you still have a moment where you're like, did it happen? Is it real?
Yeah, it's definitely still like a fairy tale because, doing it as a 6th seed and then also ultimately with my brother, it's crazy. So,
exactly. So. All right, how much were you in the conversations with your brother as far as the next opportunity for him to be able to transfer to Arkansas?
Not much. It was all his decision. Whatever want the best for him.
Yeah.
So we felt like it was time for that jump.
And I think that's what sometimes the transfer portal gets a negative connotation because people just think about, they're just jumping to the next opportunity. But as long as it's a win-win situation, I think it's something that this is just part of college basketball now.
Sure.
All right, so now I'm hearing that you might be the funniest guy on the team.
Last year I was for sure, but this year we definitely got a couple of jokesters on.
Oh, you do? Okay, so who's the jokester? Give me some other names.
Oh man, we got Bob number 2 right here.
Yeah.
We got JV21. These are hilarious.
Okay.
So like a little trio, but the whole locker room, when the whole locker room gets going, it's hilarious.
Oh, I love it. All right, so who would be the comedian though that would actually get up on stage and perform?
I go with Baba.
Oh,
he's hilarious. Yeah, he's hilarious. And his jokes are like out of nowhere. Like we'll be talking about something random, and here he comes with something whole totally different, not a part of the conversation.
Oh, I love it. All right, so what about the Washington Wizards? Did they make the right choice with AJ number 1?
The greatest choice ever in the last 30 years. Playoffs this year, it's gonna happen.
Okay, I was gonna ask you. All right, I mean, you're a Wizards fan.
Oh yeah.
My goodness. I mean, they've been down and out for a long time.
17 wins last year. First team eliminated from the playoffs. Yes. But I mean, we got the Bonster, so it's good.
I know. Yeah. So you're excited about it?
Yeah, that's the
All
hope.
right. So are you a big DC sports fan?
Yeah, watching the Commanders.
Okay,
yeah.
So the Commanders, all of that. Now, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, though.
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
I know. What are you excited about? Hopefully the Commanders can also have a rebound type of season.
JD Fly coming back junior year. It's going to be a great year for sure.
Yeah. All right. So what about this team, Team 106, here with the Paladins? Yeah. How excited are you to actually bring this team together and compete to defend your title?
Yeah, defend the title. As you see, we got a bunch of new guys, all conference guys. So, we come in with a chip on our shoulder, even though we won it last year. None of us were voted all conference. Even Marcus Kell, who was in the conference last year, one of the better players in the conference.
That's right.
Conference. So I feel like we all got our chip on our shoulder to repeat and just show them that. It's Furman.
And now you talk about a chip on your shoulder, though. How do you avoid complacency, though? Because you are the champion, so you've reached that mountaintop, but now you have to try to do it again.
Well, I mean, we still won it, but none of us got all tournaments. So nobody here on this team got all tournament team. And then the guys coming in, they're hungry. They want that success. They came from some programs that didn't win their championship, didn't win their league.
So they're hungry.
Yeah, hungry for success, and then us showing them that this is where you can reach that success.
That's right. All right, best of luck, 2026.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, Cole. All right, so when you're looking at Timmons Arena and the renovation that it's gone through, it's almost like a physical representation of everything that this program has gone through in terms of the transformation. How does it make you feel that you've been a big part, and obviously the administration commitment behind renovating Timmons and everything that they've poured into your program?
Well, it's been a long time coming, and we had a great place to play before in terms of the crowd and the atmosphere and getting the students involved, but we needed a place that really showed the excellence of what we try to have our program show, and to have those two things in alignment now, to where the city, the campus, the community can come in and just see an excellent facility. I mean, just really,
Are you kidding me?
They really didn't cut corners on it.
No.
And Jason and his team and, everybody involved in the project, that's the first thing. When you park, we had no curb appeal before. Yeah. I mean, you didn't know if it was a basketball facility or a small church.
And that's not disparaging the old Timmons at all.
You just couldn't, it just didn't, from the outside, when you're bringing a recruit up, you didn't really know what you're walking into. And then, now when you park, I mean, it's a grand entrance. I mean, you can see it. You got the glass front, it's all lit, and then you come in the lobby's spectacular, and in the game arena, I mean, it's special in there. And
that's right.
It's intimate, it's tight, it's loud, it's on top of you. You've got a lot of the amenities, and that's what we've told a lot of people. It's mid-major size, but it's high major amenities. And but the most important thing is the excellence that we want our program to symbolize. You can see that in our facility now. And there's a lot of pride in that.
Oh, there's definitely a huge part of the community being bought in. And again, I think this is just a representation of everything that this program is establishing right now.
Absolutely. And look, we're a developmental program. We build, and it's been a decade ago that, maybe a little bit over a decade ago, they were giving out free food to come to games. And
Times are different now.
It's been brick by brick.
Yes.
And in terms of how we've done it with our players, we were just in a recruiting meeting this morning and talking about, the Clay Mounces and the Noah Gurleys and the Marcus Fosters and the Jalen Slawsons of just, redshirting or not playing a whole lot freshman year, and just the growth and it's been like that with our facility, right? Yeah. We've had to cast a vision to get people excited, and even the office complex that you're in now. I mean, this was a vision that we started working on 6, 7, 8 years ago, of just making sure that when you walk in these offices, it speaks and the walls talk, and you know where you're at, you know what the program is building towards. And so whether it be the team room, the locker room, the offices, the arena, we're trying to put a space together that represents the excellence in the class that we want to operate our program with.
Oh, the vision is reality. That's for certain.
Absolutely.
All right, you mentioned brick by brick, building it, and it's a process. How frustrating can it be, though, at times when today's society seems to be a microwave society, want things done fast, immediate, win right now, without any time to build it, but there is a process that you have to go through, not only just from a physical standpoint, brick by brick, but even from a program standpoint. It just doesn't happen overnight.
Well, it's a microwave society,
yeah.
And everything's drive-through convenience. I mean, I'm guilty of it. Right? Amazon Prime.
Of course.
The faster the better, and you don't want it in 2 days. You want it tomorrow, and look, that's the world we're in, and so we have to understand that, and we have to adapt to that, and we have to understand, like, nobody's trying to hear this is going to take a little bit. But you also can't forsake what's worked for us, and understanding that it is process driven, and every program says that, every coach says that now.
Yes.
And you hear that phrase, but for us, when you really look back on our program, the culture, the development, and the system have been unique, and that's where all three of those, when you're trying to build systems, when you're trying to build a culture, when you're trying to develop, those are all process-driven things.
Yes.
And when you have a system, it's why we want to operate a system. When you have a system, then now instead of just every game, win, lose, you're having to rethink what you're doing and change this, change that. It's just, hey, look, our system is going to create hopefully the end game product of which we would like. And so when the product's not what we like, we've just got to go back and figure out where do we tweak the system.
That's right.
And that's what was so fun about this team this year. Like they
they just kept believing in the system, and we had to reinvent ourselves a few times based on, injury here, injury there, 5 injuries times. At a time.
Coach, come on.
And, but it was still always, how do we stay to our identity? And something that we've said a lot in our time in the last couple of years is we will adapt but never abandon. We're going to adapt to the times. The times are different. Everybody says they're bad. It's not all bad. Okay, there's some good things with this, with the new times. There's some not so good things with the new times. The mission is still the same. Can we grow people? All right, and how we grow people, we're not gonna abandon those values. We're not gonna change the way we've done it. We're still gonna commit to it. And I think that was one of the neatest things about this year is we got rewarded for that, because while everybody else was in the portal, we went and signed 5 high school players.
Yeah.
And a high school player, and everybody's like, why is Furman not signing all these high school players? And, the biggest question I've gotten in this time, or one of them, has been like, well, yeah, you signed Alex, but then he left and went to Kentucky. And I'm like, oh, whoa. Like, I'll sign up for that every year, right? If we're going to have the MVP of the conference tournament and we're going to win a championship, and he's going to go have 21 in the first round game and have a chance to go make life-changing money at Kentucky, if one of our freshmen does that this year, like, that's not a lose. That's not a bad outcome. It's a situation where he had an impact on this program forever. It will be a season that we always remember. And he got an opportunity to have a situation that could potentially change his life. And that's just kind of the world we're in right now. And so, now you're able to show that in recruiting. You're able to show that, what we've been able to build. And we don't necessarily want to invite them to leave. There's been some situations where I don't think it's in the best interest of the player. And I've been out loud about that, and I've voiced those situations. But you also got to look at it in my seat as if I was advising myself or my children. And you've got to be able to look at these situations and say, okay, what's best when you look at the totality of these situations? Is it best to stay and continue to develop? And then we're going to be able to, get you to this point, or have you done enough at this level? And now this is a no-brainer situation that will still push your professional stock up. Then, hey, that might be something that we all have to be on the same page.
That's right, because it's not just about you and what's best for Bob Richey here, head coach for Furman. There is that totality that you're talking about. There's multiple factors that go into it, and where it can be a win-win situation for everybody. And then going back to the transfer portal situation, like in Alex Wilkins, how different is that than the one and dones, where the high majors, everybody was all, you got to sign these one and dones. They would blast the coaches that weren't embracing the one and dones. So is that any different here?
It's not much different. I mean, I think there's the cases that are rough and hard to watch are the ones where you have somebody transfer up and they don't play as much, or the role changes.
That's right.
A one and done situation is an unbelievable year in college. They go in the lottery and they get an unbelievable NBA contract.
That's right.
Okay, so all layers of that it's good, and good. If any part of the process starts to trend the wrong direction, from a professional standpoint, then that's when you get a little worried about it, right?
That's right.
And I think now that we're going to have 5 years of this, everybody's going to get 5 years. And so what does that look like? What does their production look like? What's their capability to earn revenue? And then also, most of these players still want to be professional athletes. And to be a pro, you got to play a lot.
That's right.
You got to produce a lot. And you better be a top 3 player on that team, or they're not going to pick you. They're not going to pay you. They're going to ask, like, hey, what happened? And so as long as it's a situation where the trend line continues to be pointed up, then you have to support those situations. And I just want what's best for these players. Ultimately, I think that's what's been neat about our program is, we've been able to develop, we've been able to evaluate, but we've been able to get people that fit here. And you have to have some faith that it's all going to work out how it's supposed to. And, hey, look, you can say, man, like, I wish they would all stay. Well, if they would all stay the year before, maybe we don't ever have Alex here.
That's right.
Maybe we didn't have a spot. Yeah. Like, has anybody ever thought about that? You know what I mean? Like,
no, nobody thinks alike in those terms.
Maybe we wouldn't have been able to sign 5 freshmen had everybody stayed. And so, ultimately our mission is still the same. We want to graduate our student athletes. We feel like our degree is distinctive. We feel like we have a differentiating degree with a unique network, with the Furman connections in the Southeast specifically, but really in the country. We want to compete for championships. We want to give our players an incredible experience where they really get to experience holistic development. And then at the same time, like we want to put them in a situation where we feel like we give them the tools for life, that we can, with our Further the Man program and the way that we systematically teach our players how to lead, how to serve, how to communicate, how to present, how to be lifelong learners, that we can put them in a situation where regardless of what's next, they're prepared for it. And as I look at the landscape in college basketball and I evaluate my job daily, mission's the same.
Yeah.
Mission's the same.
It's not changing.
It doesn't change, right? Like the circumstances have changed, and the circumstances of winning might have changed a little bit. The character of winning will never change.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I put a lot of security in, is just focus on what our ultimate mission is. Continue to find people that fit Furman, that fit our identity of how we play, that fit our team and our culture and what it means to be a Furman Paladin. And then you know what? Like, winning's a cure-all. Just keep winning. That's right. You know, just keep doing everything we can to push the program forward. And then ultimately we trust that the program's going to win out.
Yeah.
And you know, it's you can't take this stuff personal. I mean, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of changing, and you know, but you got to understand the mission is still the same. We still have the same degree. We still can compete for championships. We still can provide an unbelievable experience that is a holistic development in a unique manner at Furman, that we can basically right now, if you look at the last 4 or 5 years, we're either creating pros or we're getting guys jobs, right? Like that's the end result here, right? If you look back on all these kids in the last couple of years, they're either starting with a job in the Furman network, or they're becoming pros, or they're getting into coaching, which has been really neat. And so, and then we can give them the tools for life to help them go be successful.
Well, and I think that's part of it too, is that so many times we look at, especially sports teams, obviously because it's about wins and losses, it's about the scoreboard, at least how it's being viewed from an outside perspective. But how do you balance that situation that you're talking about, that you might not win a championship every single year, but you're doing winning things, that these players, they come in and they're being impacted by more than just the scoreboard?
Well, I think that's where you have to make sure, again, fundamental belief for me, if you develop the person, the player's coming right behind it. And if you just focus on developing the player, you're using that player, right? Like you're using that player to get wins and to get job security and to get all the things that come with it. I'm going to put my head on my pillow at night, every single night, knowing that I'm just pouring into that person. And if we can develop that person, then all the things that we need him to become a great player, if we can teach sacrifice, if we can teach teamwork, if we can teach diligence, if we can teach just be faithful for what's in front of you, right? Like if we can teach how, you know, just all the things that we're thinking in July, what we're doing from, you know, financial training to tax education, from, you know, the job placements and the mentorships that we do. And, you know, we had a thing here beginning of the summer. We had Jeff Beans, Andrew Brown, and Daniel Fowler in a huge, you know, Q&A with our team. And it was just unbelievable how rich it was. But those are things where you just, like I said, you can still find purpose in this. And everybody's talking about all the bad, and everybody's talking about it's so nauseating to hear, you know, how much people continue to talk about it. The opportunity for us, like we talked about Alex, okay?
Yeah.
I would like to think I had a great impact on his life. I mean,
Without a doubt.
Alex and I talk all the time. You know, Alex and I, the other night I was on a 30-minute walk FaceTiming him. We're texting while he's in Vegas. You know, like I really believe in a year we had a huge impact on his life. And I think if he was in this interview, he would tell you that this program had a huge impact on his life. And so this idea that we can't really have, so it's at worst it's a year.
Yes.
You know, but are we coming about it that we're still going to buy into deep care, high standard, and those two have to be in concert with each other at all times, that we're still going to have a deep care for our players, and we're still going to operate with a deep care as leaders and as coaches, but then the standard is not going to drop. The standard's not going to change.
That's right.
And if that's 2 weeks, if that's 2 years, if that's 5 years, you know, like we can still impact people's lives.
That gets me like almost up out of my chair, because I think we miss the boat when we're so narrow-minded in terms of that narrative that you're hearing out there, that, oh, you're only getting 9 months to a year with some of these players, and, you know, what type of impact. I still firmly believe you can have a huge impact you can have an impact one day with a person. And I think we need to focus on the beauty of that rather than just looking at it, oh, it's just a short period of time. Well, in life, there's chapters in everybody's life.
That's right. That's right. And that's what we want to do here. We want to, regardless if we have them for 9 months, regardless if we have them for 2 years or 5 years, focus on the mission, focus on the values of the program, deep care, high standard.
Yeah.
And if we do those two things well, and a lot of times people think that those two work against each other, man. If you have a really high standard, care's going to go down. And, but if care's really up and you're a player's coach and they love you and they like you, well, man, you just can't hold them to quite a high standard. We're going to do both here. And we're going to do both every single day. And, if we can do that, then we're going to be able to have, I like to think Marcus Kell, we're going to be able to have an impact on his life. He's going to be here for 1 year.
That's right.
But the challenge for me is, last week we were sitting down in a Mexican restaurant having lunch together, because I want to know him. I want to know his person. I want to know what he's like. I want to know what he's seeing. And I want to not just, hey, let's go make this shot or let's go do this, but he's a neat human. I mean, he's just got a big personality and he's meshed in with our team really, really quickly. And I want to know what he wants to do. I didn't know he had a construction degree from Western Carolina. Well, now I do.
Yeah.
What do you want to do that? You want to do something with that, or you want to do your master's here and figure out that's the stuff where you can really get to know these people and making sure that, hey, look, it's got to be intentional. You only have so many hours in a day. Does that matter? And you better not be the coach that's trying to create these relationships with them in late February and trying to talk them into staying, because they're going to be able to see through that.
Then it might be too late at that point. Yeah. And Marcus Kell, hell of a player coming in. It's a big transfer for you. But going back to last season, though, and you talked about having to almost create new identities or redefined your team last year multiple times. Was your faith tested during last season?
I'll be honest with you. I think, when I worked for Nico here for 4 years, when he first got here, the program wasn't in great shape. And he had a Dick Bennett line that when I first heard him say it, I was like, what? I don't understand that. And then even being removed from it almost now, 13 years, I still think about it. Before you have a team you can win with, you better have a team you can lose with. And I never quite, so we got to have a team we can lose with. What does that mean? And last year we had a team you could lose with. We had really, really good people in our program. And we had a lot of personality. Our identity was clear. They knew what we were trying to do. And so, to be honest with you, I was actually just looking back on a text the other day. I don't know why I saw this in my phone randomly, but one of our worst performances of the year was here against ETSU. We couldn't make a shot. They made everything. They had post players throwing stuff in. They had a kid hit 6 threes. It was just one of those. And I look back on my text, and I gave him the next day completely off. I texted him. I said, hey, guys, tough night, not what we want. We're probably pressing a little bit too much. Y'all get away from it. If you played more than 10 minutes last night, don't come in the gym. I'll see you on Friday. Now, mind you, we were going to Spartanburg to play on Saturday.
Yes.
And so it was always one of those things I felt like, man, I want to help these guys. I hate that they're having to go through these injuries. We got some young guys out here, but it was you kept coming back to work, what a group. And it was really hard for me to be angry at them, to be honest with you. You knew they cared. Our care last year was never in doubt as a leader, and just being around it, being around our guys. Chuck Johnson wanted to win so bad his last year, right? Tom House wanted to, Ben Vanderwall. You couldn't question it. Now there was things that they needed to do better at times. There was things that I needed to do better at times, but you always knew that if we could piece this together well, that it was going to come to fruition. And
and it did.
It did. It was an unbelievable, last 2 weeks of the season there. But I think after that ETSU game, our leaders changed. It was just one of those things where I think the outside noise of us hearing that once we get everybody back, everything's going to be great. Well, once you get everybody back, now you got to inject guys that are starting to play. Now guys that were playing more aren't playing as much.
That's right.
And so now you've got a lot of movement there that you've got to sort through. It's not all hunky-dory, right? And then it's never easy. It doesn't matter. None of these games are easy. So then it was okay, we've heard we're a young team. We've heard that we're an injured team. well, you know what? Actually, guys, like we have 3 seniors that have been through a lot.
Yes.
And after that day of ETSU, it was a meeting in here, myself and the 3 seniors around 7:30 at night. And I just told them, I said, the only thing we're going to be remembered by is what we do from this point forward. Nobody's going to talk about the start. Nobody's going to talk about the injuries. Nobody's talking about the fact that we lost the game last night.
Yeah.
It's going to be what we do in the next 2 weeks. And what also we're not going to be defined by is that we were a young team. Nobody wants to hear that. Okay. And what we're also not going to be defined by is we were an injured team. Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah.
This is going to be defined by what you 3 make it. And I challenged our seniors that don't look out there and figure out who's to blame or what we don't have, or look internally and say, you know what, like this is going to go how we make this go. And we're either going to play to the values or not. It's either a value to move the ball or it's not. It's either a value to fly around on defense or it's not. And you 3 have to lead that. And I'm just so grateful they made the right choice. Yeah. I mean, like Tom House played more than anybody on our team in the tournament. I mean, he played 28.8 minutes in the SoCon tournament in those 3 games. That was more than Alex. That was more than Coop. That was more than anybody on our roster. Ben Vanderwall, the sacrifices that he made late. Chuck Johnston, the vocals that he had, the voice and the charisma and the leadership that he had late down the stretch was phenomenal. And I think that's what turned it. And I think that was a leadership lesson for our whole team of the outside world's going to come up with all their definitions and all their stuff and young team, injured team. And, you guys got to talk about something, right? I mean,
that's right.
Everybody's going to come up with something. But, man, they took responsibility and they accepted responsibility and they took that challenge. And what it did was it gave them control to change it. Yeah. Instead of just looking on the outside, you give up control.
That's right.
Like you give up when it feels so comfortable to blame it on this and that. But what you're doing is you're giving away your opportunity to impact the result or the solution. And when you take responsibility for something, you got to say, hey, this is on me. But now you get an opportunity to say, hey, this is on me.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they did. I think that's what changed our year.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of the outside noise, so let's play the clip.
All right. I got it. You got it?
The elephant in the room. Now, I think it comes down to basically 4 things in this game. Protect the 3-point line. You're going to have to do that. Win the rebounding margin. Manage the pace. Also here, you've got to not get in a track meet, but hunt the advantages in that pace and getting some of those transition opportunities. And then interior efficiency. Furman is so good interior, but we also know Dylan Faulkner is good interior. So who's going to have the opportunity? I think it's going to come down to, for Furman to win this game, though, ultimately, they're going to have to shoot over 36% from beyond the yard. I agree. And then you're going to have somebody like Jaden Booth have a cold night. But I think Samford's going to take this game. I think they're just playing extremely well. They've got some momentum going. So can I say, or did I have an impact on the team picking Samford to beat you guys in the conference tournament? And hear me out. You guys had lost 5 out of the last 8. Samford had come in winning 6 of the last 8. Both of you guys had lost at the end of the regular season, Samford at Mercer, and then you guys there at Western Carolina. And so Jaden Booth had been playing extremely well. And so I take Samford in basically a coin flip. Yep. So was there motivation to...
I don't necessarily...
And I say that in a joking way. You guys weren't listening enough.
No. It's I really felt like, personally, I felt like whoever won that game was going to win the tournament.
Yeah.
I did. I thought...
Lenny Acuff has said the same thing.
I thought looking at how the bracket shifted and how it moved, I thought that whoever survived the game was going to win the league tournament.
Yeah.
And, of course, I don't know if that's right. I know this, like, 6 teams could have won that, and it was going to come down to who could get the best. I think, there was a little bit, and you probably heard it late. It wasn't just you, but that was a little bit of the rally cry. Like, don't doubt those dens.
That's right.
And we put it in front of guys when people doubted us, and and that's a little bit how we operate. We got a chip on our shoulder here.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It was amazing hearing everybody say once it looked like we were up double digits in the tournament and the championship, that we had all this talent, but we had one all-league guy.
That's right.
Yes. Coach's vote.
Yes.
Alex Wilkins. That's the only one I saw him there.
Only one. That's right.
I think he was second team. I don't think he was first team.
That's right. He was second team.
And so, it's easy to say after the fact, oh, look at what they have. Well, everybody got a vote.
That's right.
Nobody, where's Coop?
Hey,
where's Coop on this thing? Coop didn't make the all-conference team, but it's part of it, right? Like people want to try to kick people when they're down, and I think that it's one of those situations where we always want to make sure the light in us is brighter than the light on us, and we want to be an inside-out program. We want to make sure that our purpose drives us and our values are what we cling to. But we'll laugh and banter with the noise a little bit.
Yeah, no, I love it.
And I think it's one of those things where you're sitting here saying, hey, we lost 5-8. I don't even remember that. I mean, I think 3 of them obviously were overtime games by 1 possession. Obviously, we were banged up a little bit. We started playing a little bit better. We won the Wofford game in Spartanburg. Yeah. Came here, won Citadel, went up to Cullowhee and just I mean, they played phenomenal.
They did.
We didn't play that
very
great.
Physical.
And so I looked at it probably more the flip of it, that we'd won 2 out of 3 going in the tournament.
Yeah.
And we were playing better outside of that Western game. I thought our guys were leading a little bit better. I think a lot of the Western game, there were a few factors in that, but you had one where you're in a 1-bid league, these seed lines are big.
Yeah.
We're literally driving the game. Citadel had beat Wofford, so now it's like, man, if we win here, we're the 2 seed. And I think our guys played knowing that, hey, we can be the 2 seed or we can lose this game and we can be the 6 seed. And man, it just felt like this huge drop, right? It's almost like, man, we got to win this thing or we're going to fall so far down. And then it becomes 6 seed. And anybody that followed the year and saw the injuries and saw the games and saw the league, I mean, everybody knew this was going to be a toss-up. And,
that's right. Yeah, I know you were a 6 seed, but you guys weren't built as a 6 seed. I know that's just how the record shows.
It's just what the record is. Yeah. But the parity in our league has become pretty apparent. And when you can see, I think the portal and the ability to transfer whenever has really made it to where you can lift your floor a lot quicker in this deal. Used to, if you weren't that good, you had to go figure it out with freshmen. You had to get them older.
Yeah.
So you can lift your floor a lot faster now with this portal. And then the ceiling is lower now because of the ability to transfer without sitting out.
That's right.
So in the past, you stack talent and you have your depth that's not playing much because they're like, man, if I leave, I have to sit here. So they stay. Whereas now they don't play, they leave. And so you can lift the floor quick. The ceiling's dropped a little bit faster because of those 2 elements. So you have a ton of parity in our league. And, I'm thinking, here, Western OT at Citadel, we're up 19, lose OT. ETSU, we're up 14 in the second half, losing overtime. And, those are 1 possession at best games.
That's right.
That could have gone either way. And look, we lost them all, right? So at the end of the day, it's 0-3. But if you're the leader of the organization, you got to be able to paint the picture to your guys. That, hey, exactly. Let's look at this in the microscope. This is what we do when we play really well. This is what we do when we don't play really well. And on Tuesday, that's what we talked about. The Tuesday or one of those days leading into the tournament, we didn't watch Western Carolina film. We didn't even watch the game. And the whole message became, how do we win the tournament? And we showed them 3 ways that we would win the tournament. And this is what we have to do. And we just made the whole message about that. And man, our guys, they bought into it. And they went up there and, it was as good of a 3-game stretch as we've had in about 9 years.
What were the 3 ways then?
So when you really got underneath it, when you studied it of when we played well versus when we didn't, it was very clear that we played everybody. When we played a shorter rotation, we weren't as good. When we played more bodies and kept people fresh, we were better. So we had to get guys buying into, hey, we're not going to play guys as much. We're going to play guys more, and everybody's got to buy into that. And so that was a part of the rotational adjustment. We ended up starting a little bit different. We felt like we had to get a little bit of size off the floor, get one more handler on the floor. Rebounding was a big deal. In our great performances, we rebounded the ball really well. In some of our other performances, we didn't. So we had to be consistent there. And then something that we track internally, some of our shot quality metrics, it was not so much were we making or missing shots. It was, a lot of people talked about our 3-point percentage and being so low in the league. When we got the shots we wanted to get, our shooting numbers were fine. When we didn't get the shots we wanted, and our metrics really showed that out, and we were able to paint the picture to our team of just, don't worry about going up to Asheville and making or missing shots. just go up to Asheville and just get our shots.
Yeah.
And if we get our shots, we're going to make enough of them. And then we ended up shooting. I mean,
but
if you watch
story.
If you watch the clips, though, I mean, the ball's just popping,
moving.
I mean, the ball is moving, and we're shooting horse shots.
That's been a staple of your offense, though.
I mean,
when the ball pops,
with the ball's popping. I mean, you look at if you looked at a clip tape from the tournament. I mean, the ball movement's incredible, and so we just really narrowed it down to those three things. Like, hey, we got to trust our depth. It's got to be everybody all the time. We got to go up there, rebound the ball, and then we've got to focus. Our mindset has to be on shot quality, and our guys did a phenomenal job on into that.
Yeah. Well, we have a unique bond, obviously, from Better Together, Furman's Championship Quest, the 5-episode docuseries chronicling that entire season, 2022-23, winning the SoCon Tournament Championship for the first time in 43 years. Now that you've got 2 under your belt and you're setting somewhat of the standard of excellence here, how does that feel in terms of, hey, you're chasing that standard, but you're the one who's setting the standard, so to speak?
That's what we're always going to do here.
Yeah.
We're always going to try to figure out. We're always going to operate with vision, and it's always going to be a what next approach. And where else can we take this? Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what inspires people. You got to be able to inspire people. It's easy to go out there and find the gap. I mean, we can listen for everybody. They can find gaps in things. They can critique things. Who can really set vision, and who can find the gifts, and who can find the inspirations to get people to move to a place that maybe they don't even know if they can move to. But for us, that's what we want to do. We want to grow people. We want to put those people together in a team concept, and then we want to be able to operate in a fashion of, hey, let's go make the unreal real, and whatever the unreal is, we're going to come in here and figure out what that is.
Yeah.
And then now let's come in here every day and let's try to make that real. And to me, that gives you purpose in this. And I think there's 2 things that are always at odds at one another in this. If I'm operating on purpose, pressure goes down. If I operate inside pressure, purpose goes down. And for me individually as a leader, if I can just drive purpose and vision, the pressure is going to be what it's going to be, right? Like sometimes this is all like self-made and it's all internal worry that, like, just understand, like, we should be so grateful that we get to go out here and coach basketball. I mean, I'm sitting out there before a championship game. I'm like, this is incredible.
That's right.
This is incredible.
In that atmosphere, all of that.
I'm sitting out there on the training table outside the locker room, and I'm thinking, this is our 4th one of these in 5 years.
Yeah.
That we've been able to be a part of.
It's crazy.
And we've now won 2. We've been involved in 2 heartbreakers, but we've been on that stage for the last 5 years. And there's been all kind of players involved in that, all kind of staff involved in that. But to build that and to get that to the point of our purpose gets to shine out that night, like our purpose of having a foundation in a world that everybody says is supposed to be transient now. Well, you know what? People want to see that.
Yeah.
They want to hear that story.
That's right.
Right? Like, hold up, what? Now, you had all these injuries and you had all these young guys and y'all did this. Like, trials are formative. And in society right now, we think trials are destructive. Like, and this program has been built on trials. This program has been built on a buzzer beater from 36 feet going in to be the first tournament in 42 years. And then all of a sudden the world's saying, well, man, how long is it going to take to go back again? But that trial formed us, like, you covered that. And we had an unbelievable season that year that also had trials in it.
Oh, it did. Big time.
Major trials.
Yes.
But when people talk about that season, they just talk about Virginia. That's all everybody talks about.
That's not what it was.
Virginia win, but like the trials, and as I look back on these 9 years here, our 2 best starts have not won the tournament.
That's right.
I mean, we've had 2 12-1 starts. Okay.
And didn't win.
Didn't win the tournament.
Yeah.
Now, one of those, 2 years ago, unbelievable championship. Dwight and I were just in Atlanta talking about how unbelievable that game was. But unfortunately, they made a couple shots there late and we didn't, and they won it. But the 2 teams that won it, they went through a lot to get there.
They did.
And I think right now, those are the lessons that where are we going to operate? We're going to operate in pressure. We're going to operate in purpose. And if we can operate in purpose, in vision, and inspiration, I mean, Old ball coach said it when he got the job. I'll never forget it. You know, I told the team doesn't know who John Wooden is. The team hardly know who Steve Spurrier is. But I tried to tell them, I was like, guys, I got a list of 10 coaches I love. But number 1, John Wooden. Number 2, Steve Spurrier. Yeah. And when I was 18 years old or whatever I was, when the old ball coach came to Columbia, he sat up there in Columbia, South Carolina, and he looked at the camera and he said, why not us? And what that did was that woke everybody up, and he said, man, maybe we can. You know, it's easy to go back and think, well, why can't we? And this is what it's been.
That's right.
43 years and can't get anybody excited about it. What is next? I don't know. We've got an unbelievable degree. You got an unbelievable campus. You're sitting in Greenville, South Carolina. Just Google Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And now all of a sudden we've got a facility that's as good as, I mean, the quality of it is as good as any facility at our level and even above us in terms of quality. And then now we've got proof of concept. Like, we got product. We've got development. We had, Jalen goes for 26 other night in summer league for the Pacers.
Exactly.
We had pros all over the place. We're getting guys jobs. We're inside the Furman network. What is next? I don't know. Yeah. But you know what? Like, there's some things out there that people are going to say that, hey, they can't do this, they can't do that. And we're just going to come in here every day with a vision and trying to inspire, trying to operate in that deep care, high standard and see if we can continue to push the boundary out further.
Yeah. And when you say what's next, I mean, you've been very transparent that next job doesn't mean I'm just jumping to a job because of a lot of the things that you're describing right here. So what holds you to Furman?
My values, the program. I probably got a little like, what they call it, like founder syndrome a little bit, where you just kind of, you hang on to it. And, this place has been good to me. Yeah. I mean, it's I was here as assistant for 4 years, and, people believed in me before, when there was no reason to believe in me. My buddy gave me a chance at 33 years old, to be a head coach. And my family, Jessica, I've got a beautiful wife, and I got 4 kids that I love to death. Yeah. And this business can eat you up right now. I mean, it can, there's nothing that in 9 years ago that I'm doing less of. Right. There's only things that we've been added to.
That's right.
And we got to do it well, and we got to do it with the right frame of mind, but it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of time, and it's a lot of commitment. And this place, it aligns with who I am as a person. The degree is unique. We can operate a program where people here want program. Yeah. Right. Like my president, my board, my AD, they want development. They want sustainable winning. Okay, they want to see complete student athletes. They want to see people, they want to win championships, but they want to see championship people built in a daily process, in a daily manner. And so, look, I'm not a 5-year plan guy, right? I'm not a 1-year plan guy, 10-year plan guy. I try to stay grounded in my faith, and I know God has a plan for my life, and I'm not going to be bound to where Twitter thinks I need to be, or what job people think I should be taking, or what level people think I should be at. Hopefully when I'm done with my career, I can look back, and wherever I am or wherever I did it, that I did it in a way that honored the Lord and really won a bunch of games. Because I think when you're putting your best out there and you're operating in excellence, that puts you on a platform that you can tell the bigger story of life, but at the same time where we can do it in the right way. Yeah. And, it's one of those things where it's like the curse of life, man. Like you want what you don't have, and you take for granted the things you do have.
That's right. That's the transfer portal.
And it's just like, I'm just telling you here, we've got it good in a lot of ways. And to be honest with you, sometimes the fight for us is making sure the organization doesn't get comfortable.
Yeah, of course. Complacency.
The organization doesn't get complacent, and that we continue to figure out like the things where we've got to get better and where we've got to improve. But I'm a builder by nature. Like I'm not transient. I'm not interested in just like not knowing these players and being at a place where you're gonna have, like we've adapted with the portal. We got 4 portal players this year. We're gonna do it all. We're gonna have a balanced roster where we're finding people in the portal that fit us, and we're gonna sign high school players early. And then whatever we lose in the portal, we're gonna go replace in the portal so that we can keep the same age of where we need to be. Yeah. But that we understand, again, going back to what I was saying, we've got to stay true to our differentiators. And our culture is a differentiator. our system's a differentiator and our development is clearly a differentiator. And if we start kind of forsaking those things, we're not going to be as good.
That's right.
Because that's what makes us different. And so, this is a little bit of a long way to answer it, but this place, they've seen some of the fruits of the labor.
Mm-hmm.
They've seen the winning, they've seen the product, they've seen what it's done, and I think we all have this vision of what this could continue to build into in Greenville, South Carolina. Because I don't know what Greenville, South Carolina is going to be in the next 10 years. I don't know what that's going to be like. And so,
nobody does.
You just don't know where this could continue to push out to.
That's right. All right. So then for the Furman Nation out there, in terms of this 2026 season, what can they be excited about for this roster?
Well, we got some new faces.
Yeah.
Last year was the most we've ever had in 6. So we just topped that with 7. So we had 7 new players. Last year was interesting. We had 6 new players, 5 freshmen, 1 transfer. This year we got 7 new players, 4 transfers, still 3 high school. And so we've got a pretty good blend there. If you look back historically on us, the biggest jump for us is typically between freshman and sophomore year. And so we were able to hang on. We did lose Alex to Kentucky, but we kept the other 4 freshmen.
Yeah.
And the exciting thing is seeing those 4 jumps, to see, now one of them's hurt, but to see the jump of specifically Cole, Baba, and Colin. I think they're all going to have major jumps this offseason, and they've already started to do that. And then we got some returners. Davis Molnar's been out for the year.
Yeah.
He's back, looks great. It's his 5th year here. He's been a part of both championship teams.
That's right.
And, so for him to go out there and to be able to be healthy again, Mason's back, which, he's getting healthy.
Yeah.
And, he's out right now, but he's doing great in his rehab and should be back. And in at some point in the non-conference part of the schedule. And then, man, the team, you look at the 4 transfers. We've got Marcus Kell from Western. We've got Luca from Boston College. We've got Jordan, that's a local kid that played in Missouri and South Carolina.
Yeah.
And we got Jackson that came from Army. All 4 of those guys can space, can shoot, can handle, can make decisions. They've got some age to them, which is good. We needed that. And, I'm looking forward to seeing how it all, we're going to look at it a little bit different. Stylistically, we'll look a little bit different. Still going to be a Furman team, still going to be based on ball movement. But, we're doing some things. We're trying to innovate a few things and try to do a few things a little bit different. Kind of start trending that way later in the year. Everybody, the league's becoming a little bit of a copycat league. Everybody kind of is playing a little bit similar. And so trying to find ways to play a little bit different. We recruited with that in mind, going into the spring. And then the 3 high school guys, Cam Elwer from Ohio he's had a great summer so far. We're really excited about what he can do on the court. And Jaron Samuel, highly rated player out of Georgia. Again, like hard-nosed, defends, rebounds, tough kid. And then Nikos was a guy we signed late from Czech Republic that was at Mount Verde. And, 6'9", kind of, hybrid 4-3 type guy that can, play some pick and pop stuff, but can space the floor. So, look, probably our worst shooting year that we've had in my tenure here last year. And, but I think we've been able to, globally, we'll be able to space the floor a little bit more, which is what I like, which is what I'm used to. And hopefully we can continue the defensive improvements we've made. Yeah. We've been top 3 in the league defensively my first 6 years, and we dropped year 7 and 8. And in this past year, we were second, kind of went back and forth, second to first, depending on what metrics you look at. But we were second in 2-point field goal percentage, we were first in 2-point field goal percentage defense. We were first in foul defense, and really being able to build on some of the identity pieces that we worked on to establish this past year, to continue in that trend line that we want to be complete, we want to be complementary. Yeah. And so hopefully it's just, look, it still looks like a Furman team. We're going to have some new faces. Yeah. But, everybody thinks they're good in the summer and everybody thinks they're deep in the summer. So
of course.
I'm sure you've heard that I'm sure you've heard that on every interview. Every recruit's great, everybody's deep, and everybody is better than they were the year before.
But they don't know how the team's going to come together.
And that's the stuff that you got to continue to work through. And, nobody's found out their role yet. Nobody knows it. Everybody thinks they're playing a bunch and everybody's competing against each other. So I can tell that our personality is good. I think our team spirit's really good. We got a lot of work to do, just like all programs. Yeah. But we're looking forward to being able to put, we want to get back to playing a little bit faster. our fastest team that we've had here was that 22-23 team.
Yeah.
And we've dialed it down a little bit the last 2 years, and we've kind of had to, just kind of how those teams were built. But I think this team is going to be built to run a little bit faster, which it's a little bit more my personality and what I like. But it's again, those freshman to sophomore jumps, seeing some of the older guys continue to take more leadership roles, and then acclimating these new players and just getting everything pulled together, and making sure we can put a team out there that plays to the values.
Yeah, and avoid that drift and that complacency.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Best of luck 2026, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.